Okie dokie. I have not gone live much at all since Facebook has changed up how you can go live in groups. So this is kind of risky. And then I'm also broadcasting live at the same time to YouTube. So, hi, everybody. I want to talk about something that was brought up in my private Boss Babe group on Facebook because it's such a good question. And I just wanted to open up the conversation. So feel free to add your thoughts in the comments. Um, I always feel that we are learning together. I far be it from me to say that I know it all. Okay, for sure. But the thought is about golden rules service. In Mary Kay in particular, we are very, very careful not to take other consultants' customers. I recognize that not all direct sales businesses put an emphasis on that, and I understand that it's different depending on what you sell and how you sell. So in Mary Kay, we typically sell face to face. We get to know our customer. We on purpose will stock their skincare and their foundation shade. So if they choose to shop with somebody else, it hurts us in more ways than one. Okay, it hurts our feelings, but it hurts our bottom line because we've already invested in inventory for that customer. Other companies, either they don't carry inventory or they only sell at big parties. They don't have reorder sales. So they're all different, okay? But I think that most of us just know intuitively that if someone is an established customer of someone else that sells exactly the same thing that we sell, that we need to tread carefully, okay? If nothing else, karma will bite you in the butt, right? So that's what we want to talk about today. And if you haven't met me yet, or if I haven't met you yet, I'm Michelle Fox. I've got a Boss Babes Online private group on Facebook and a YouTube channel as well. So wherever you're watching me, I hope that you will comment and participate. Um, I love this question, and I have kind of a different take on it than a lot of people, which is usually the case. So, I want to tell you a few things, okay? One thing like that is old school Mary Kay is that I was taught that if you haven't facialed the customer and sold skincare to her, that she's not actually your customer. That used to be an opinion, a strong opinion. I never really subscribed to that because I have a lot of people that exclusively buy glamour from me, and when I've been serving them for 6 years, selling them all their makeup, and then if somebody else snagged them thinking, oh, they're fair game because they're not on the skincare, I don't like that. Okay, so I do not subscribe to that philosophy. So I thought I would mention that right off the bat for any of you old timers like me. That just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't resonate with me. So let's talk about if there are ever any exceptions to that rule. All right, so somebody is somebody else's customer. Is there ever a time when it might be okay for me to take them anyway? Okay. And I say yes. It's the situations are very specific. One situation that I have come into multiple times, and I know not everybody's going to agree with me, and that's okay. Feel free to comment as long as you keep it respectful. I have had people over the years say to me, hey, you're a Mary Kay consultant. I'd love to get such and such from you. And then I say, oh, well, you're so familiar with the products. You must already have a consultant. Yeah, I do. But, I'd rather work with you. And then I always come back with, I appreciate that so much. Generally, in our business, that we refer you back to your consultant. Is there any reason why you wouldn't want to continue working with your consultant? If I end up being like really firm, like, no, I'm sorry, you have to buy from your consultant, or why don't you want to buy from your consultant? Go in there. I have annoyed people to where then they don't buy from either of us. You know what I mean? Like they get kind of like, listen, first of all, it's none of your business why I don't want to do, why I don't want to stick with my other consultant. And I'm asking to buy something from you. Are you going to sell it to me or not? Kind of an attitude. And so I've just kind of learned over the years that I have the right heart attitude. And if someone says to me they want to buy with me, and I make it clear that I would prefer they buy from their original consultant, and they come back with, I understand that, I've heard that before, but I would really rather do business with you. I think that we can lose business if we just kind of put the kibosh on it and say, like, nope, sorry, I'm not going to sell to you. I usually do because I usually have a pretty good relationship with my people. And I usually will ask a little bit more, like, well, tell me a little more. And they usually will say something like, well, I haven't heard from her in 3 years. Or anytime that I want something, it takes her a month to get it to me. Does that resonate with anybody? So, I kind of hear what she has to say. And if I know the consultant, then I always say, "Oh my gosh, I know her." I love everybody. Like, I know her, I love her. She's such a fantastic consultant. You know what? Let me talk to her because I think that there must just be a misunderstanding. And then I go back and I talk to my consultant friend and say, "Hey, this customer is a little unhappy because it takes a while to get her products. And I know that that's, a touchy subject, but I just want to share that with you because I don't want you to lose her." Okay. So I got to get something to write my nose with. So, as much as possible, pardon me, as much as possible, I will refer them back. I always make the other consultant look great. And if I can help in any way, respectful way, I will do that, to take that opportunity as kind of a training moment for whatever, the other consultant. I've been doing this 24 years, so I might have a little insight into the situation. But bottom line, I have had people that have gotten irritated with me and said, listen, I don't want to work with her anymore. I don't want to tell you why. I would rather buy from you. Will you do it or not? Okay. And at that point, things are ramping up, emotions are ramping up, and that's, can get ugly. So you just really have to, use integrity, be honest, be straight up. But there is a point where it's like, okay, all right, let her buy it from you, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? Because otherwise you could seriously just turn her off to the whole thing. And that almost happened to me with the most recent interaction that I had like that, where I could tell she was like, what is wrong with you? I want to buy this from you. And so anyway, so that's my thought on it. And if in the future, she goes back to the other person, whatever, what goes around comes around. But for the most part, once you find out that somebody has a consultant and you refer them back, they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that's how it works. Since I, live right next door to you, I thought it'd be easier to get it from you. Or since I see you at church, I thought it'd be easier to get from you. In those cases, I say, I understand how you feel, but really, I'd rather you go back to your original consultant because she's worked really hard to take great care of you and, blah, blah, blah. So, another time where I'm not super concerned about whether they have a consultant or not is if I'm selling on the go. I talk about sometimes I'll have just like a little cash and carry basket that I'll take with me, either like when I'm getting my hair done or my nails done or something. And it just has like little things in there, like previous limited edition, discontinued lip colors or something like that. And if somebody is like, oh, wow, these are all only $10, and they want to get one, I just go ahead and sell that to them, because me selling them a discontinued lipstick isn't going to destroy her relationship with her current consultant. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not, frankly, it's just not that big of a deal. And I don't want to make a scene. Be like, okay, well, everybody else can buy out of this basket, but you can't because, you've got a consultant. You feel me? Don't be a weirdo. It's like, let's just not be weirdos. So, if somebody wants to buy from my basket, I usually just do cash and carry. And then I usually say, do you have a consultant? And they're like, oh yeah, I've got somebody. And I say, that's fantastic. And, God bless you. If they say, no, I don't, then I give them a catalog. I get their information so that I can take them on board, take them under my wing, get them on my mailing list and all that. But for the most part, that is just an opportunity for me to move inventory that I want to get off my shelf. It's not me, trying to get long-term customers. You see what I'm saying? So it's a little different. So those are a couple of cases where I think it's okay, even if they have a consultant. Another time, and this is more of an online thing, but I have a customer group and I have hundreds of people in it, probably I don't know, probably 25% of it are my customers. The rest are either other people's customers, or they're other consultants and directors, or they're in other industries altogether and they're just curious how I handle my customer group. And to me, I'm kind of like, and everybody thinks differently about this, and I respect that. But for me, I kind of feel like the more the merrier, the more people that are there to interact with what I post, the more likely other people will interact. So even though they're not all my customers, it still benefits me when they watch my live videos, when they, give it a thumbs up, when they talk about it or refer to it or they post something. It keeps the activity in that group moving. And so the way that I handle that is that, and everybody can do this, in within your group, there's a place where you can require them to answer questions before you accept them into the group. And one of your questions can be, how familiar are you with Mary Kay? You use it all the time and you have a fabulous consultant. You used to use it a long time ago. You've never used it. You know what I mean? You can ask that. And when you get that information back, it helps you know then how to follow up with that person. And I always let them know if they are somebody else's customer that they are welcome to be part of our group. We have a ton of fun. I love to train about, skincare and beauty tips, and they're welcome to participate in the games and the giveaways. But when they make a purchase, it needs to be with their actual consultant. I've never had a problem. Okay. And if you're wondering, well, why would somebody else's customer want to be part of your private group? Well, I'll tell you why. The things that I usually hear are my consultant doesn't do anything online, or I don't really hear from her that often, but I love her, I appreciate her. I'm not going to take business away from her, but I like what you provide. I like the information you provide. Or they just think it's cool and it's fun and they want to be part of it. Maybe they're on my customer group and her customer group. I don't care. Now, other consultants feel differently where they're like, no, 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 my customer group is for my customers only. And I get that. I mean, there is definitely a benefit to that. But if somebody wanted to join your group, because I got this question today, well, how do I know when somebody wants to join my group if they have a consultant already? And just straight up, I ask them, okay, and that determines how I'm going to handle the follow up. So that kind of segues into, how do you find out? How do you word it, or at what point do you ask? Because it can get a little bit weird. I've given you some weird examples. When I'm doing in-person stuff, like I'm having parties or even double facials, we have a profile card. And if I'm not using the physical card, then I'll have them fill something out, like maybe through a Google form or something. But one way or another, I'm getting their data, like their address, their phone number, email, birthday, and I will ask if they currently have a Mary Kay beauty consultant. Our posture is that if the answer is yes, like, okay, so they've already been invited to the party. They're on the guest list. They're expecting to come. I'm pre-profiling them. I find out they do have a consultant. I'm not going to say, well, you're not allowed to come to the party. Then you can't come. Okay. I'm not doing that. Let me say this. When you are coaching your hostess, it is important that you let her know that what benefits your business most is to have women over 18, or you might even say over 21, who are not already working with another beauty consultant. I always say that. But again, that hostess doesn't always know. And she might feel kind of awkward saying, hey, I'm having this party, but you can only come if you don't have a Mary Kay consultant. You know what I mean? So, I coach as best I can. But usually there's somebody in the group that already has a consultant, and that is okay. You just, do your presentation. Usually they will buy something, like if they're low on their mascara or they're low on their, concealer or something, they'll just make a small purchase because they get it, that they belong to somebody else. I'm very gracious to them. I thank them. I'll even send them a thank you note in the mail, but I do not put them on my mailing list. Okay. I don't follow up like I would. I don't try to book them. I don't try to recruit them. I don't add them automatically to my online group. You see what I'm saying? It's like I respect that they belong to someone else. They're at my party today and they can hear my presentation, take advantage of any specials, but in the future, they're going to stay with who they started with. Okay. And the way that I found that out was just by pre-profiling. If it's online, it's going to be like the questions that they either answer, like the questions to get into my group. Okay, now I think I have a flaxseed on my lip. I just ate yogurt with like chia seeds and flax seeds, and that's all I can feel now. All right, irrelevant. So if I can, then I'm asking those questions and, or, like as prerequisites questions before they can enter my group, or I'm having them fill out a Google form, so I'm either asking them in person, I'm asking them through a form, or I'm having them fill out a piece of paper. One way or another, I'm finding out if they have a consultant. Okay. And if you are, if for some reason you feel awkward about it or it just gets weird, honesty is always the best policy. Okay. You just say, it never occurred to me to ask you this, but it's just super important to me because I have so many fabulous consultant friends. Were you previously working with another consultant, or are you on somebody else's mailing list? Because I sure wouldn't want to offend that person. And if you're being taken care of right now, then you just need to stick with her. You know what I mean? It's like just kind of be honest and work through it. Wasn't there a third thing I was going to talk about? So exceptions to the rule. How do you find out? And then I think the other thing I said was, what do you do if they are, right? So, and in that case, I refer them back. So yes, you can be part of my group, but you're going to buy from them. Yes, you can participate in this party, but you're going to continue buying from them. Does that make sense? I hope so. So not like a super long training, but something that I think is important. And if I ruffled any feathers or misspoke, feel free to ask me to clarify, because I know that some people, their thought is that no matter what, I'd rather die than take somebody else's customer. And I respect that. I think that that's, a very cool thing. I mean, I think that's a very good thing. I used to be like that, a real diehard. But like I said, I've gotten to where I've irritated people that are just trying to make a purchase. And I don't think that helps our reputation. You know what I mean? You just have to use wisdom. And I will say, my parting thought here, since I am online and I have a presence on all the different social media platforms, and I have lots of opportunities for people to click and buy, like in my blog, they can click and go to my store. Even in those cases, I'm still finding out if they have a consultant, and I'm still referring them back. I think a lot of people see everything I'm doing online and assume that I'm, not doing it the Mary Kay way, but I absolutely am. And it's very possible to do that. You still have to communicate with people to get the product to them, right? So you still have an opportunity to find out what you need to know. So it all has to do with your heart attitude, being honest, letting the customer know why we do it like that, and going from there. Whew. So hopefully, hopefully that it didn't offend anybody. If you got anything out of this, I hope that you do give it a thumbs up. And if you are watching me on YouTube, that you subscribe to Boss Babes Online. We are so close to hitting 1,000 members, 1,000 subscribers, which has been my goal for such a long time. So I'm really, really excited about that. And we'll do some kind of giveaway when we get there. So thank you so much for your time and attention. Like I said, if you've got a question, post it. Because of the restrictions with Facebook, I can't see any questions right now, but I will come back and answer them for sure. Okay. So thanks so much and have a great rest of your day.